Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is extending that module, AP bar and foo, and we're going to look at the different features that modules can use. Now, this first one that we're going to look at is adding a form to the module. Generally, when your module is going to have to create something, save something, update something, and delete something is pretty common. Just a quick look at that. Yeah. If you had something like there were videos, obviously if you've got a video, it had to be created somehow, and the format for that is when the user goes to their profile, they're going to have a tab for your module on their page, and they're going to be able to create, update, and delete another version of whatever it is that your module does. So if we're creating a video page, a video module, we'd need a create button. So that's what we're going to look at now. Just clicked on that. The video module, create. How to create one of these forms here for collecting information that whatever your module does, or whatever it's going to do. Let's look at that now. So first off, we'll go to the bar/create page, and nothing's there. So it defaults to the index.cpl file. Which is the default if nothing's there. We looked at that in the last video. Create. Okay, nothing there yet. We want to take control of that. So the way we take control of that is in the index file. But before we do that, we're just going to make sure we've got a clean slate to start with by committing all of these changes to Git. Commit, and that just commits them locally and gives me a clean slate to start with. So any changes I make now, I'm going to see them down the bottom, and I can compare them to how it was when I started. So AP bar index, and from here we've got so if I just one function defined in our index, we're going to create another one. This one's going to be called create. Okay. And make sure that's there we go. Okay, so we're working our functions being found and taking control of that URL. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to add a form there, and the easiest way to do it is to go and look at how other modules do it. So where's something, a page, that'll have a create function in it. Index, default, browse, create. There we go. So we'll start by picking up the contents of that, and we'll have a look at them. Okay, what it's doing is there's a few functions here. You must be logged in to create a page. So that's what this function does. User session require login. The user session will redirect a user to the login page if they're not logged in. It's useful to put in the first thing. User check quota access. We haven't got any quota system set up yet, but if we were going to use the quota system to make sure that only people in certain quotas were allowed to use this, then we would add this one in like that. User check quota access, but we wouldn't be for JR page, it'd be for AP bar. Don't want to get too complex at the beginning here, so we'll comment that out just for now. Bring in the language strings. Are we going to have a language file? Well, right now we don't have a language file, so we're not going to use that or that. Page banner. What this is page banner 1 is using the first language string. Well, we're not going to use the first language string, we're just going to use straight old non-translatable language. This is the create page for the bar module. Okay, form init, submit value, it's another language string there. Submit this form. Page title. All of our modules are going to need to have a prefix, and ours is going to be bar. The label is going to be title. The type is going to be text, and validate to not empty, required is true. So what this means is it's true. You have to add a title. The value of that title can't be empty. The type is going to be text, and if you've watched the form creator video, you'll be able to see the form designer video. You'll be able to see that we've had a look at what types are available already when we created the video genre. The types are checkbox, spam bot, date, time, file, editor, option list, password, radio, select, text and type. Can you see the bottom of there? Let's drag that up a bit. Chain select, image, chain select and text, image, video. These are the options that you've got to work with. And just in the same way that the form designer allows the admin users to add these different boxes. This is a drop down box here, that's a text box there, that's a text box there, it's text area, sorry, drop down box, checkbox. In the same way that the form designer can be used by the admin user, you can use that in your modules as well. So we can add text here, and we can validate it for not empty. The different validation strings are here. But the way I generally look for it is figure out what I want. If it's a title, text, not empty, that's true. And then core form field create. We'll get rid of the rest of this and just see what that does, because we've just got a couple more form field creates there. Delete that and display it. Right, now let's go back and have a look at our form and see what it looks like. There we go. There we still haven't uploaded an icon for our bar module. We better do that at some point. Title, and that's a form. That's what we created. The help text was add your title for your bar. Easy as that. If we want to add more fields to it, then we just go down and find more fields. Perhaps we want to add another text area. Be the page title, that'll be the bar title. We'll call it foo description, or actually value. Okay, and back to there. And the value comes up. If we wanted to add a selection area, an easy way to do it is to go find somewhere else that's already using it. Blog category's got a select in text, and we'll add one too. Make sure we change that to bar category label. and this one's not required, so the user, when they fill out the form, is not required to enter it. And save that and upload it and see what our form looks like. I didn't like something there. What did I get wrong? Yeah, it looks like it's asking. Oh, it might be asking for. The query reads critical error. The table JR AP bar item key doesn't exist. It looks like it's looking for something in the data store, and it's true that we haven't set up a data store yet. Wasn't planning on doing that until the next video. So let's round this one off here. Leave that out for right now. Type select in text. And leave our form as it is, and then we'll have a look at creating a data store and come back to that one with the select in text as well. Okay, so that's how you create forms, is by adding these form field create and page display into your create module. The next thing we're going to look at is saving the inputted data into the database. We've got to have a database first, and we'll look at that next. Okay, what we're going to look at right now is we want to save the create function that we just created, save the input, the data that's being input. So we need a place to save it to, and this is where data stores come into it. In order to have a data store, we need in our module we need to have a schema file. So easiest way, copy the structure from somewhere else. Our page. That one is going to be called AP DB schema create schema AP bar, and the prefix for that is going to be bar. There we go. That's it. That's all we need to do to create a data store. And that will add a data store called bar to our database, whatever one we're using. So once we've got that set up there now, and back in our index, it's still working. We had a problem with this one working before. Let's see if that works now. Oh, perhaps it's not. Let's run our integrity check. 5, 3, 1. Hello world, go away, hello world. I think I want to turn that hello world module off. There it is. Not active. Okay, good. So since we've created the database, that query error has gone away, and we can add a category now. So title is category is right. So if we submit this form, it's going to submit, but it's not. It doesn't have anywhere to go. We can try, and it'll try to submit, but the JSON response here. This is the bar module. Okay, it's looking for something, hasn't found it, and it's reverted to the index, which is not good. So one way to figure out what's going on there is, without just knowing it, is to open up the Firebug module, Firebug for Firefox, refresh the page, make sure everything's working. Submit this form, and you can see where it goes to. First thing it does is it validates it, and then it looks for the function create save. So we're going to need to create that create save. Whenever a form is submitted, it looks for the name of the form, create, and then underbar save when it's trying to save, or underbar update when it's trying to update. Oh no, sorry. So that'll be create save and update save. And what it got when it looked for that was nothing, so it returned the index. So let's go and create save now. Okay, we'll have a look at the page one, see how it does it. Page index, there we go. And here's that grouping again. Page create save, update save. What we want is we'll take a look at create save there. Back to our module and see what functions it uses. Okay, create save. First function it uses, the user must be logged in. User session require a login, will redirect the user to the login page if they're not logged in. So that's an important one to start. Check the quota access, we're not dealing with that right now. And core form validate. That will validate a submitted form that the core form validate function will validate posted form values to ensure they are of the proper type. That's to stop any malicious code getting into the system. It checks validate not empty, so it makes sure that what you have asked for in your form field create is being given to you in your create save. Okay, and our page AP bar create. If we're not the master admin, okay, we don't need that. We're keeping it real simple right now. So what we've got here is the posted form values have come from the form. They've landed here. They've been validated. Post is the thing that they come in on, and then we are returning just the fields that were present in the form. So it's cleaning out any other fields that might have been added that weren't there in the form. If someone used Firebug to add an extra field there that wasn't put there via the form via the module, then they'll all be stripped out, and you'll just be left with the values that came from the form. And inside that will be an array. Actually, let's have a look at it. Let's go back up to here, turn our debugger on, make sure that says AP bar create save. Make sure we haven't got anything other weird things going on. Replace AP, replace all. And we want the language strings. We don't have any language strings going on there. AID will insert the inside array if the item is created. Yeah, called create item AP bar. title. If we couldn't create the item, what does that return? Returns insert ID on success or false on error. So if this is set and it's not false, if this is false, then show a form that's got an error, and the error will be unable to add the form data to the data store. Save any uploaded media files. We don't have that option in there, so we don't need that. Add to actions. That's a bit. Don't need to write that right now. See where we redirect. We just redirect to one location rather than put some conditionals on that. Okay. Right, so let's have a look at this now. We've got our create save function. We come in here, we check the user's logged in, we validate the form for the correct values in our in each of the fields. We get all of the data back from the post value and store it in an array called RT. After that, we create a URL string and add that to RT. We take the title, and from the title we run it through the JR core URL string. What that does is convert a string to a URL safe string. So I've got something for our address bar, and from there we insert it into the data store. So create data store item and add that array there, and use it to create an item. If it does create an item, then skip this bit, delete the session that we just had with our form, and then redirect somewhere. That's how our save function reads, and we'll just check that works. So come back to create here, start again fresh. These items are here because that form session hasn't been deleted yet. The category animals, submit. And I turned our debugger on, F9, just run through. Okay, so what happened there was the submit finished, and then it redirected to the location of where that form was submitted to. So this is the location, module bar /1/donkey is where it will appear. We'll go and create another one. Create. Title is cat. It's also animals. You don't need to add a new animal there, and submit this form. Create save, and it comes out a cat. It comes out a cat because that's where we asked it to come out. Go away, debugger. During our save, create save, the last thing we asked it to do is delete the form session and then show the form results. And what that does is redirect. What it does is complete processing a form, and then it sends it to a URL. The URL to redirect the browser to. And the one we asked it to do was this config file. We've got that as one of our options up here. The base URL for the system, the module URL that we're dealing with, the ID that we just came in on, and the title that we just created. So if we walk through that right now, put that debugger on there and come back up here, and create another one. I've got access breakpoints F9 from another. There we go. Title, dog, value, and best friend. Submit the form. And there we go. There's our breakpoint again. It's stopped in that during our create save, and this just keeps on spinning. Can't go forward until we let it with our debugger, and we can have a look at what's coming in on post. So post is an interesting one. Add to watches. Post. Add to watches. Inside post, we've got a whole lot of information there. The URL it came from, a submit token, we don't deal with that. The stuff that we sent in, the title, the value, the module URL, the module that's being used, and the option that's coming in. So we can see that there on post. Conf is all of your system values. To watches. So the base URL of the system, the base directory, and you can use any of these because they're available to you. And you can have a look through there and see what you've got available. Most of the things relate to presets for other modules. This is the support module, and they're set up from the global config tab on the module. If you need to add anything that you need access to later as a global config variable, you can set up something for the global you can set that up so they're available to you. We'll look at that later. Okay, F8 down to the next line. Now we've got RT created there. We can have a look at that as well. Those three values that we had got cleaned so that they only came back. Get all posted data that can be saved to the data store for a module. And those are the three that are going in. So RT is just an array. Bar title is dog. Bar value. Bar category is animals. And that's going to be saved into our data store. F8, next one, create an item. An AID. What does AID come out as? 3. So it's the third item in our modules, in our data store. And off we go. So just to make sure that that is in our data store, let's have a quick look at that now. Still got my debugger on. Ignore, turn that off. Ignore, turn off. Good. Into PHP MyAdmin, and we have there it is. There's our data store keys 1, 2, 3, which are the 3 items that we've created, and the data store actual data that's in on there. It's going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But an easier way to look at it is if you sort them by the item ID. So on our first thing that we created, it was created at this timestamp. It hasn't been updated yet. It's created by user ID 1. The values that actually came in through the form were bar title, donkey, bar value, the donkey went to town. Profile ID is the user that did them, bar category, animals, and the URL is donkey. So these ones without the underscore are the ones that we actually created from the form or created afterwards in the create save area, and the other ones are system values to know, so the system knows who created it and when. For number 2, our item number 2, there they are there, title, value, category, URL. 3, title, value, category, URL, and these. So that's the data that's stored in the database in your data store. The beauty of a data store is other modules can come and add things to these to your data store too, so that when you go and retrieve the information, it's not just information that's been stored there via that form. Other modules might have used listeners to inject values that are good for your items as well. Perhaps another module used the events and listeners system to input an image of a cat, an image of a dog, an image of a donkey when their modules ran. Okay. So that's creating a form with using the form field create function.